Should you change your behavior towards a woman depending on where she is in her cycle? Do this on a micro level. Can you share personal examples?
Please.
Could I share?
Be nice to me.
Go ahead, Mike.
Okay. So since I'm the only one out here in the street still, I'll answer this question. I'm gonna say something. You want to say something really controversial? I'm gonna say something controversial. My brother, he wants to. You know what gaydar is? You know the idea of you can tell if someone's gay is gaydar. He wants to make. I know this is not the question you asked, but you're gonna think it's funny. He wants to make some sort of thing where you can use an infrared swipe on someone's head to see if they're XX chromosome or XY chromosome, and he wants to call it theydar. Theydar. He wants to see if they're they them. And as soon as my buddy's attorney JC, he said that, and we both looked at my brother and I was like, bro, if you get that made, if you actually made something like that, you would get sued immediately for a civil rights violation. Even though, do you know, Rollo, how much money we'd make if we had a device that you just put in your pocket and you go like this over the thing, and you're talking to a woman, it goes XY, so you know you're talking to a man. You would make so much money. You could sell that device in like fucking Afghanistan and fucking Dubai. Put a 1 in the chat if you would want a device called the Vadar, where you just you just put an infrared line on someone's skin and you can tell if they're X chromosome, XY or XX. People would lose I would pay for that. Now, what was the original question? You were asking about.
Would you change your behavior towards a woman depending on where she is in her cycle?
Here's the thing. Now that's you're getting right to my point, Rollo. You want to know if you wanted a 4-digit body count? I'll tell you how you'd actually get one. If you had a fucking device, just like I said with the Vadar, but you could tell where it was like it goes luteal phase. And you've got a little fucking beat saying that she was in her horny week, bro. Imagine if you went to a singles bar. There's 500 women there, and you could see a green light over there. All the ones that were in their fucking horny week, you would have herpesipilades. You would have HIV, herpes. You would have so much sex if all you did. If anybody's out there, and like I've got friends that have done this, they've gone out before and like I didn't do anything, and the super hot girls just want to go home and have sex with me. Like the part that they don't understand is like you just caught her at the top of the cycle. You caught her when she's like in her horniest moment. If all you did, you would. If you did cold approach, you did 50 cold approaches, and all you did was approach women that were in that phase, you would get laid so much it would be ridiculous. Now, what's the difference between us and other primates? You guys know? Other primates, when the females are in estrus, they change their scent, and their gonads actually start to get their gametes start to enlarge. You look at baboons when the woman's like in estrus, you can physically see her bottom becomes red. Okay, humans don't do that, except. There are 10 inconclusive studies that show. I'm reading Dr. Buss's Evolutionary Psychology textbook. I've never actually read the full textbook. I'm reading the $300, 700-page textbook. I'm reading that right now. And in the book, he goes over. They're inconclusive, but there are 10 different circumstantial pieces of evidence that show that men actually can tell when women are in their horny week. I say horny week. People don't understand what luteal phase is. Women know. Yeah, women know what I mean by horny week when I say horny week. So your skin actually gets lighter. You start to glow a little bit. Again, these are not conclusive, but there's also ones that show that men pay more attention to women when they're in that phase. Their boobs get a little bit bigger. There's these little things that happen. So if you're around a woman a lot, I can tell. Being at the strip club, I could very much tell women's cycles. Women one of the reasons why. Too. Yeah, they definitely can. By the way, the whole study about women syncing up their cycles, not accurate. Turns out that's not true. Turns out they do not, and there's no evolutionary reason for women to sync up their cycles. It's like, okay, I guess our harem leader is here now. Yeah. He's going to fuck us all at the same time. It doesn't make any sense.
That was the proposed thing.
It could because we only go for one dude.
Okay,
we share the alpha.
So the concepts that you'll see though, would you treat them different in different phases? This is the only thing I would tell you. When they're in their mean PMS phase, get the fuck away from them. That's the only thing I would tell you. I just stay away. Like literally, because here's the reason why. I'm gonna tell you this why. Ryan Taraban said this, and Bismarck said this. FedEx Fearless. And the reason why I bring these two people up is because there's no people that you could possibly say that are more unalike than a Ryan Taraban from Northern California and Bismarck, FedEx Fearless, who's from Nigeria. They're completely different, and they came to the same conclusion, which is after you have sex with a woman, the next day, you should not call her. Both of them said this to me. And I've talked to several other people who agree with me on this. And it's not because you're trying to diss the woman, but it's because of this reason. Rolo, let's say we go out, we all party. I meet a girl. She's really hot. We end up hooking up together. The next day, maybe she took Molly. She drank too much. She doesn't even know. And I call her and I'm like, hey, I had a great time with you last night. Just wondering if we could meet up today for dinner. And then she's in a bad phase. Her serotonin levels are low because she took too much drugs. I don't know what she's on. I don't know. I met her on stage at Zook. I don't know what the fuck she's on.
You're good.
And
I know where this is going. You're fucking good.
And I don't know where she is in her phase. So if I call her and she's like, who the fuck is this guy? Or like, now she's going to associate that negative feeling. We could instead of like Molly hangover, we could say her PMS. Now she's going to associate that negative feeling to me and my phone number. I fucked myself. But if I wait a day and she calls me, I know she's not at the bottom of her cycle. She's at the top. I know that if she calls me and I say, hey, let's go get a massage, she's going to say yes. If I say, hey, let's go to dinner, she's going to say yes. So that's why I think it's really important for men to wait for women to call them after sex, because women are the gatekeepers of sex, but men often aren't, need to be the gatekeeper of a relationship. So once we have sex, I need some pursuit from her. If I don't get any pursuit for her, hey, cool, we just had sex. We can both move on with our lives. But if you want to be a part of my life after we have sex, you have to show me some interest as well.
Right. Go ahead, Tori. I know you're dying.
No, I'd fuck you up. That's what I would do. Fuck you up. Why didn't you call me?
Let me see if I can throw a few other.
No. But why don't you call? But hold on, Tori. If hypothetically we were to hook up afterward, and like during the nighttime, I was like, you know what? I love the butter cake at Mastro's. Tomorrow night, I'd love to take you there while we're together. And I say, hey, if you're free, will you call me in the afternoon? And you say yes. If you don't call me, it's not my fault. You need to call. No, but you need to call me. Yeah. Because when you call me, I know you're ready for it. If you call me, if I call you, I don't know. Because I'm a man. I'm like this every day, the same every day. I got testosterone. I'm the same. I'm happy when I wake up. I'm happy when I go sleep. I'm the same. Hey, Michael, guess what? I have out here a blowjob and a cheeseburger. You good? There's no time of the day I'm going to say no to that, right? I'm happy. I'm a man. I'm always the same. You're a woman. It's up and down and up. I don't know where you are, but I know if you call me, right? But I also know that if you call me, I know that if I'm with a woman and she instigates sex with me, that's consent. Like it's one of these things. I had an attorney tell me this the other day. He's like, let's say, because I've had this issue before. Oh no, different attorney, and I'm not talking about James Sexton. But me and James had a really great conversation. This is JC. He's an attorney. He works for the State Department in Florida, and we were talking about this concept. He was like, what about the idea of consent? So I've been with a woman before who she likes to do a lot of kinky stuff, but if you touch her neck, because she was sexually assaulted, if you touch her neck, she freaks out and starts crying. This is just this one thing, her neck, nothing else. And I didn't know that. So what JC said, and I love this idea, he tells the girl, get in your favorite position. So now she's getting in her favorite position and also instituting consent at the same time, which protects you. Right? You see what I'm saying? You say get in your favorite position. The other thing I've said for millennia, for these guys, everyone in here needs to listen to this. Number one, you need to have a camera in the common areas of your home, not your bedroom. Not your bedroom. You need to have a camera in the common areas bedrooms of your home. You never need to overtly talk about sexual intercourse in your text messages or come off as needy or thirsty ever in your text messages. Every message you send to a girl, as soon as you guys break up, it is evidence held against you to be used against other women, party promoters, whatever. Never send sexual messages to women. I'm just telling you guys, if you want to have sex with a woman, say, hey, come over later and then have sex with her. You don't need to tell her all about all the things you're going to do to her. She's just going to screenshot that and send it to her homegirls. Don't do it. Okay. And then number three, men do not pour women's drinks ever. Men, listen to me, guys. I just listen. One of you guys going to hit me up in a little while from now when one of your homeboys goes to jail and you have to get him out of jail and you're going to say, thank you, Michael Sartain. Men never pour women's drinks. Women only pour women's drinks. I just saved someone's life. You don't know it yet. I just saved your life. Put a 1 in the chat if you've ever been to a party and there's that girl who walks out drunk, pees on herself, vomits, and tells everyone she got drugged when she didn't get drugged. She just drank too fucking much. Put a 1 in the chat if you've seen that girl. Oh, I got drugged. Like, woman, you're not that important. Like, you're not even hot enough for somebody to waste their drugs on you, sitting there telling people you got drugged. You didn't get fucking drugged. You just can't handle your alcohol. But she starts running her mouth. Bah, 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 bah. I got drugged. Wait a second now. Hold on. I have cameras in the public areas of my home, so I can see who made your drink. Looks like Sally made your drink, Sarah. Looks like Sally made your drink. Bob didn't make your drink. Steve didn't make your drink. It was Sally. You understand what I'm saying? Protect yourselves, gentlemen. Protect yourselves. Don't snitch on yourself on text messages. Have cameras in common areas, okay? And men do not pour women's drinks. Women only pour women's drinks. Hire a gorgeous female bartender who's also one of your wing girls. I would love to have Torsia come and just make drinks. Like, hey, Torsia, can you
move to Vegas?
Yeah, I do it all the time.
That's what she does. Let me throw this out here real quick. Again, should you change your behavior towards women depending on where she's in the cycle? If you could find out where that was and you had an accurate assessment, I would say yes. And Mike is correct. There are subtle ways that men and women understand that where that woman is in her particular cycle. Now, again, I'm going to go back to like the work of like Dr. Marty Hazelton in this sense, but probably David Buss as well, is that women will tend to, they'll wear sexier stuff during that time, right? It's like the woman in the red dress effect, right? So if she's wearing cocktail dress, she's got high heels on, she's made up, and she's going out, she's putting herself into situations which are quote unquote sexual zones. If you can pick up on those subtle cues, then yeah, for sure. The only part is it's sort of an inaccurate science, and I think a lot of guys would love it if they had like what was Mike was saying, is if you had some sort of device that like you could find out exactly where she was in that particular cycle, that would help you out. But yeah,
women will be like, sorry, I just got my period, but then guys will forget about it, and then later they go out weeks from now. You can figure it out with just that.
Oh yeah, you can. Yeah. And then the other there's subtle cues. There's also vocal intonations when women get that husky voice. It's like that, like guys, a sexy voice. When they get that, the vocal again, more work by Hazelton is the sexy voice stuff, right? And then the other part of this is like, and then Mike mentioned, be careful of her when she's in her down cycle, right? If she's in her luteal phase, then she goes through, then she flushes out, right? Then she goes through PMS and then everything else. Again, this is Dr. Martin.
Natural Cycles app. It's an app called Natural Cycles, and it actually, like, if you have a girl,
how to get your woman
it goes with your aura ring, and it will tell you when she's assuming
she has an aura ring.
Ladies, do you hear this right now?
No, ladies, gentlemen, buy your girl. If you want a girl, and make sure you never get her pregnant, because once you stick crazy and a baby comes out, bro, it's 18 to life. You want to make sure you never get her pregnant. You need to get her an aura ring and get that and pay for that Natural Cycles app, bro. It will sit. Thank you. Thank you so much, Michael Sartain. Thank you. I promise you, I'm giving you guys game you don't even know about yet. Please,
future game. Yeah. So I was going to say one of the things that and this, I don't know if I've ever had this conversation with you, Mike. One of the things that Hazelton presents, or she like hypothesizes, let's just say, is that when women go through their particular cycle, they go through their proliferative cycle where they that's the horny phase, right? That's, right around day 9 to day 12, right? And then the egg drops, and that's usually when women are in that, like, I need to go get laid. Then afterwards, then they go through a quote unquote nesting phase, very similar in a small short-term phrase, that women will get when they get pregnant, right? And it's usually, the female body is saying, am I pregnant? Am I pregnant? And by the way, yes, to answer the question, hormonal birth control sort of thwarts this, but women will go through that nesting phase. That's when they want their phone friends. They want their emotional tampons. That's when the guys who are like the beta male guys, they suddenly give them a call and go, he was such an asshole. I can't believe I fucked him again. And then they go through that phase. They get their girlfriends. That's when Ben and Jerry's happens. And so then they sort of go through this quote unquote nesting phase. The body is still wondering whether or not it has been impregnated, right? Then of course, you go through the flush, then you go through menesis, and then that's when you get the PMS, right? PMS has been theorized anyways, that the reason why women get bitchy during PMS time is to drive away all the beta males that were drawn in for comfort and emotional support during that nesting phase, right? That's why PMS exists. The evolutionary reason for PMS is to drive away beta males so that when she comes full circle and she comes back into her luteal phase, then she's really not looking for those beta guys. She's looking for guys who are like more alpha, who that she really wants to have sex with, wants to be impregnated by. And so then the cycle continues and goes through that process. So understanding the entirety of the cycle is also important. I would say it's actually more important than just trying to figure out, well, how should I change my behavior for her at this particular moment? You should also remember that you probably change your behavior when she's past that point too, just so you know when to show up and when not to show up. So, but I thought that was interesting, especially the nesting thing, because that's what women do when they get pregnant is they go through the nesting phase, right? They want to like set up the nursery and they want to pick out clothes and everything else. And if the baby is not forthcoming, then they get depressed, right? So.